Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. And this is a big one. Everyone has been waiting for this. We finally have some preview pages for Azula in the Spirit Temple. So at the moment, I think they are only up on Edelweiss. They might be up somewhere else, but it's always a little bit random. So as you can see here, there are 8 preview pages. Having read the book previously, I can tell you they're from roughly the first 30 pages from the book. So yeah, let's go through them. So yeah, just go on Edelweiss, search Avatar or Azula, and you will find these pages, but we'll go through them here. So the first one here is from relatively early in the book. We're about, maybe 5-6 pages in, I think, at this point. There's a setup for why this is happening here, of course. So what you can see here is Ty Lee chi blocks the fire warrior known as Chio, and is basically captured. And you can see Ty Lee gets a real chance here in the early section of the book to kind of show off, kind of leading this kind of counter mission against Azula and the Fire Warriors. It's a very, very cool kind of opening sequence where Ty Lee kind of gets to shine a little bit. But you basically get the idea here that the other Fire Warriors really care about each other here. So as we go forward a bit, I think again they cut a few pages, so this is probably like 4 or 5 pages I think after even the previous one. We see Ty Lee once again fighting. Some nice firebending going on here. Ty Lee gets to show off some of her acrobatics. Azula jumps in going for lightning, and again Ty Lee actually gets to kind of block this. She actually gets up real close and kind of redirects the lightning away by directing Azula's hand. So at this point they're kind of trying to get out of there, and then eventually they're forced to actually leave Chio behind. So Azula is the one to sort of facilitate the idea that we're not going back for her. You know, she says like leave her. She does a bit of a Zhong-Zhong-esque, firewall here. So it's very cool to see the kind of firewall in blue. And Ty Lee actually very determined here. I actually really like this early on in the book. This isn't over, Azula. I'm going to find you. I won't let you get away. I really, really do like that aspect, because you would say of like May and Ty Lee was typically the one who's a little bit more afraid of Azula. So to see the real determination here to kind of like bring her to justice effectively is actually kind of nice from Ty Lee. So that is the 3rd page here. Then we cut a little bit later on, but again, we're still within the early stages of the book here. So here is sort of the aftermath. We're building up to roughly in or around where the original kind of non-colored, non-finalized preview pages happen. They are a little bit after this. But this is where you see some of the stuff I was talking about in my non-spoiler review. The idea of Azula has this kind of conflict with the Fire Warriors. We actually get to see kind of what the group dynamic is like. And as is kind of alluded to a little bit in the RPG, it isn't particularly great. It is very much Azula on top. Everyone else just follows her. But you can see the idea here is that this is Zirian, of course, who we knew from Smoke and Shadow, obviously. So she really wants to go after Chio. Like, she's basically planning the rescue mission and stuff like that. Where would they take her? Would they send her back to the institution? We broke out of that. And then basically, are you listening? They got one of our team. And Azula's just like, yeah, we're not going back for her. But she is a fire warrior, and Azula says, as a fire warrior, she should accept that sometimes there are casualties of war. Very dismissive of the situation. It is, she's making a decision here, but it is obviously one that shows a lack of regard for the people who, they look up to her, they support her. She's kind of not giving the same in return. And it speaks to, again, the idea of Azula kind of out on her own, in a way separate from the others. The others want to go after her, whereas Azula doesn't. So interesting stuff. Then we actually cut quite a bit ahead. So I would say the first 4 pages are from roughly the first kind of like 15, 18 kind of pages in the book. We skip ahead a little bit. We're getting more towards, in around 30 here. So this is one of the first things that happens as part of the kind of spirit vision stuff. So you sort of skip a lot of the setup, but we'll see in the coming pages, you see a bit more of the setup. Now, do be aware, not all of it is like this. When you see this page in the book, you're really stunned at like what's going on here, because there's just so much kind of happening in a way in this page where like you're like, whoa, Iroh's here, Ursa and Ozai like happy, Zuko's here, what's his name, Ranyan and not Chan is here, kind of from the beach episode. You have like Azula on here, and I suppose that's meant to be Sozin, I'm guessing. So interesting. And he's like Conqueror of Ba Sing Se, like they're all praising her. So Ozai says, my favorite child. Iroh calls her the Conqueror of Ba Sing Se. Zuko says, you killed the Avatar, you ended the war. Her mother, Ursa, says, you were named Fire Lord after your father ascended to Phoenix King. And then Ranyan says, your hair is amazing and you smell great. And so you can see immediately something's off here. This is kind of presenting this idea of, this is like Azula's perfect world. This is what she, in a way, wishes her family was like, wishes the way that they spoke to her, wishes the way things had gone. And we see that there. This is the page immediately afterwards. So yeah, Azula's like, this isn't right. Isn't the Avatar alive? I can't remember. And you can see how confused she is, because this is before she kind of realizes what's going on. Like, this is literally the first part of the vision that's happening here. So she's pulled around by Ursa, saying like, Azula, I'm so proud of you. You are. Yes, daughter, so proud. And then we get this isn't real, obviously. And it's, I think there is a cut here. No, this is the following page, yes. Because, yeah, we do have here the kind of first appearance of Mai and Ty Lee. And Ty Lee is the one to say, as if your mom would be proud of you. And Mai is like, yeah, didn't you tell us she thought you were a monster? Pretty suspicious. And Azula says, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Mai says, sure I do. I know the real you, Azula. None of this actually happened. And we see, I said, shut up, as you get this kind of idea of almost like the spiritual stuff is going dark here, almost like in relation to her emotions. And then we end with, she wakes up. And this is, of course, the spirit temple, which she's resting in. And we see the person kind of running the spirit temple comes out. The dreams did not give you peace. You must leave now. You must go. And Azula's just frustrated because she doesn't know what happened. And so it's this interesting idea. Again, I don't want to spoil the kind of book in terms of what happens, but obviously it doesn't end here. The vision is going to continue. But the person running this place is kind of like, wait, these spirit vision dreams, they didn't like resolve things for you. So it speaks to sort of the idea that like Azula like woke herself up from this before she kind of fully experienced the full thing. So really, really good stuff, I think, in this book. And obviously that is only 8 pages of 72. There's a lot more going on in the book, and obviously there's still about like 40-ish pages left. There's still a lot more to get into. But it is actually, I think this is a nice teaser for the book, in that I like that they didn't just give you like the initial 8 pages. I like that it was spread out a little bit to give you a sense of like, here's the opening scene, highlighting a bit of a conflict, addressing kind of what Azula and the Fire Warriors are up to, engagements with key characters, of course, but then the disputes within the ranks of the Fire Warriors. I like that too. That's really strong. And then they give you the teaser of the actual spirit visions, which is kind of what makes up most of what the book actually is, and speaks to sort of that mysterious tone going on here of like, what is going on here? Like, this is where like Azula sees kind of this ideal vision of what's going on. This is the life she wishes she had. And it's Mai and Ty Lee who bring her back down to earth. That like, this didn't happen. That's not your relationship with these characters. And it's in a way, ooh, is Azula lying to herself here with these kind of like once, but of course we will go on and get into more of, I suppose, the criticism of Azula as we go forward, as she deals with kind of in a way what she has done. So super strong stuff there. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on these preview pages from Azula in the Spirit Temple. I'd love to discuss them more, but because I've already read the book, I feel I'm almost giving too much away, in a way almost just through giving you the context of kind of how they happen in the book. But we are slowly but surely getting closer to the release of the book. We're about a month and a half away from the release here. It is October 31st / November 1st. The difference in dates being that, of course, on the Tuesday, October 31st, Halloween, that is going to be the mass market date for regular bookstores, but also the digital release of the book. And then on the Wednesday, the day afterwards, November 1st, that is, of course, the comic book store release date. So that has been the same for the last while now, and I'd be very surprised if it changed. Like, maybe getting much closer, there might be a kind of delay associated with the kind of last stage of the books kind of getting in stock, but I'm pretty sure at this point it's sorted itself out. So definitely let me know what your thoughts are on what you think the book is going to be now that you have sort of the context from what I said in my review, this video, a couple of pages getting us not quite towards the exact halfway point of the book, but, you know, definitely a decent bit into the book. So, yep, that's been it. Thanks for watching, and bye.